What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. We are going to be doing the disassembly and maintenance for my Divo Knives Growler. Let's get into it. All right, so we're back on the table and looks like I'm centered. I am very excited to be doing this disassembly. I really like this model a lot. The action on it is really good, and I actually have gone back and forth on whether or not I'm going to install skiffs on this one because the action is just so damn good. But I like this one a lot, and I'm kind of curious to see if it's actually going to make a difference. So all the hardware on Divo knives are always T8. I love that they do that. It just makes it super simple and straightforward. You don't have to over prep for the disassembly. I am going to be using for the first time my Audacious Concept Anzo designed bit driver. This one is the Stonewash Titanium. At the time of the making of this video, they're still available in stock. It's linked at the GP Knives link down below. When you go there, just search Audacious. It comes right up. They have Stonewash polish and they have black PVD. For the money and the fact that you're getting a very well-made titanium bit driver, it's always good to have nice tools to maintain your knives. It doesn't look like, yeah, I am going to take the pocket clip off, I think. Well, let's try it without taking the pocket clip off. I think what'll happen is you'll probably have to take the entire liner off. Oh, this is very tight on here. Let's see. Let me close it. Let me try seeing if the finger will keep it from spinning. Nope, it is still spinning. So I am going to have to pull out my Griffin tool driver as well, and I will grab a second T8. I do use Weehaw bits. I recommend good bits regardless of what you're working on, whether it be on your knives, your cars, at home, etc. Those are just going to make sure that you're not stripping out whatever it is that you're disassembling. So that did hold the other side, and it is confirmed titanium hardware, but it did hold the other side in place for this part of the disassembly. This one here is a little bit tighter. Just be careful if you have your aluminum or your G10 variant. It could scratch if you're not able to kind of hold it in place. The hardware doesn't seem to matter. They seem to be the same size irregardless. At this point, I prefer opening the knife up to get to the pivot, and we'll just back that pivot out. It is a bit, you do have a nice, beautifully done anodized titanium pivot collar. There is a little bit of thread locker on there, so I will have my thread locker out ready to go for the reassembly. Let's just see if it'll come apart with the scale on there. Yeah, so the scale is what the pocket clip is being put in, threaded into as far as keeping it in place. There is just a little bit of oil here on the lock bar, so I'm just going to clean that while I'm here. There is a little path already starting to form on the scale, but it looks like it's pretty hard cased steel because it's a very shallow liner, so not too much has been formed in there. We'll go ahead and take it apart. We're going to grab our tool first and just confirm these are 5mm 1/16. I believe that's what I saw Kevin advertising for the growler. So let's just move the stop pin out of the way really quick. So we do definitely have 5mm with almost no play whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead, whoop, if I can pick it up, clean off my stop pin, my pivot, and then, I'm just going to put my lube of preference. I really, whatever works. These knives, they're going to perform well as long as you're cleaning them and putting some type of lube on them. The detemp ball looks like it has a little bit of gunk in it, so I'm going to grab my electronic Q-tip, electronic keyboard Q-tip, and just give it a once over. That will just help make sure that the detemp ball is dropping in there nicely. I'm going to go ahead and hit these corners as well inside of the cutout for the bearings. So it does have a little bit of a track already there, but not awful. Let me go ahead and just verify the thickness. We confirmed the pivot is 5mm, and these bearings are very nice. You really don't have to do this. let's see, 5 millimeter, yeah, 1/16, 100%. There's no play around them. So I'm gonna grab a set of those. As I was saying, the bearings are very nice. QB bearing, I mean, they probably get them all from the same place, right? But the QB bearings, 5 millimeter 1/16, we'll grab a set of these, are really nice. I'm getting kind of low actually, so I might order a few more. I think, yeah, I got one more left after this one. Um, the bearings are very nice. The only reason I do like the Rocket Glides is because they are caged bearings, but they're fully encased versus it having the little bit of opening. Um, these are kind of caged, but they're folded over onto the bearings, and I just feel like that isn't as solid as a solid piece of brass around the bearing itself. I feel like that is just going to be a little bit smoother. And then the other reason that I do like them, you get more ball count on your caged ball bearings than you do on your factory genuinely. And the reason I like that is because it's just going to make it a little bit smoother. It's not going to, it may not drop shut any faster, but it's going to be smoother. It's not going to have as much of a hiccup. So you have more condensed balls side to side, closer together, no spacing in there. So pivot strength should theoretically be increased because they are solid cages versus being hollowed out. And you got the balls side by side there, so you don't have as much of a gap in between them. Oh, the stop pin fell out, and the backspacer is wanting to fall out. Nope, the bearing dropped right out for me. I do clean these up and throw them back in the case just to keep track of what knife they came out of. If I ever have any type of issues with centering or anything like that, I can keep track of the bearings that were in there that worked to have them centered because it was dead center when it came to me. And again, this is just personal preference. At the very least, I hope you take away how easy it is to maintain your Divo Knives Growler. So I'm just going to mark this really quick that it is my growler. And then I will set these aside to put away later. I'll clean that up at the end. We'll continue to move forward. This is the side the bearing came out of, so I'm just going to clean it off really well. I don't see a reason for it to need to come out. My Divo knives, it's straight enough. Stop pin came out again. And there's been videos, and I've had people ask me why I'm lubing. Why am I lubing the stop pin? If it has too much play, the lube does a couple of things. One, it'll keep it from moving around and rattling, which this doesn't have any. It also kind of helps keep it in place when you're reassembling the knife to make sure that it's not shifting around too much. But these tolerances are very good. No minimal play. I'm not going to say no play, but minimal play. And I'm fully confident that I don't need that lube on those. But I've had some where like the edge cut is a little weird and it shifts around, and that just kind of helps it float in place so that it doesn't really move on you when you go to reassemble everything. Just a couple of just clarifications, really. Nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking as far as what's going on with it. Now I mentioned the stop pin. Not the stop pin, sorry. Backspacer did move out of there, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of that back in place. I'm just going to make sure one more time that I didn't miss anything. Cleaning all the dirt and gunk and debris that might be in there from where I carried this already. And we're going to get that back in place. We're going to go ahead and grab the other bearing. And this applicator, I do love that it fits in this case, but it tends to, whatever gets stuck in the path or in the nozzle there, for some reason, it just wants to bleed out. Oh, no, that's too much. So I end up having to like, I waste a little bit with that one. It wasn't super expensive. It was a few bucks, but it is kind of, it's not the best applicator out there, I guess is what I'm saying. Since I did drop the lube on the detent ball in front of the hole, I'm not going to worry about it here because I don't want it to cake up on the lock bar. I just don't want that to get gritty or grimy or feel like it's catching. And it can give the sensation that it's creating lock stick, or it actually can create lock stick. So I just avoid that at all costs. So I'm going to start by installing the 2 body screws back in because I do want to put a little bit of thread locker in there. And I do, ooh, that is really snug. I do have my Griffin over here to tighten it up when we get to that point, but I'm just going to go ahead, reinstall this. Now you can take the pocket clip off if you want to get to the other side of the liner and really deep clean it, but mine wasn't that dirty, to be honest with you. Yeah, that one's just spinning. It's not doing anything. So I'm going to grab my thread locker. This will be the last step that I do. This type of thread locker, you don't have to rush. So I have the ability to kind of adjust the pivot screw, and then I'll let it sit overnight. Ooh, that's a little too much there. JD, let's smooth it out there. There we go. I'm pretty happy with what I have on there. It's a nice thicker threading. So I don't think I'll have an issue with it trying to back out, and I don't think I really have that issue with my other QBs. But my Civivi Vision FG continuously backed out, so I'm just getting back in the habit of using thread locker. So let's check the centering first. Favoring a little bit on that side. Let's check the play. No play, so let me try to back it out ever so slightly. I did go snug, but I didn't over tighten. All right, let's see. A little bit of play. Tighten it up a little. A little bit of play still. Might have had it. No play. Fall shut. Still favoring the pocket clip side just a little bit. So let me try to hold it. Well, no, because I do need to use 2 bit drivers. I am going to grab my little cardboard card that I use for this. It is favoring this side, so I'm going to try to push it back towards the other side, so that it's pushing it away. And then what I'll do is try to loosen. I think this one went tight. I'm going to try to loosen this one. That one was plenty loose. Just going to wiggle it a little bit to see if it shifts any. And then I'm going to try to hold it by thumb and see if it'll let me torque down. If it spins on me, it's spinning on me. We'll grab the bit. Yeah, both are spinning on me. So we're going to grab the other bit driver. I do like this particular bit driver for my large hands because it is thick enough to where I feel comfortable holding it and the knife in place. And I don't grab it with a lot of force because I found that the knives want to jump around. But it's enough to allow me to kind of get that leverage that I need to get it completely tightened up without over torquing. I don't recommend over torquing these. They're not under a ton of pressure to come apart. You just want enough pressure on the screws to keep them from backing out. And it'll hold everything in place. Everything should be nice and centered. Thank goodness this isn't anodized because I just slipped out as I was talking about that. And I may go ahead and grab that little finger bit driver that Skiff Bearing makes. I think that's probably going to be ideal here to keep this from wobbling and playing around and just messing with the knife too much. All right, so let's take that out. It slightly favors the pocket clip slide, but it is so slight. Let me just check the play. No play. Very nice on the drop. We're going to let some of the lube break in a little bit. We'll keep an eye on the pivot to make sure it doesn't come out. But to me, the difference is it feels a little bit more glassy on the close. It felt so smooth before. I don't want to make it seem like they're not smooth bearings, but this feels so good. So you can see it's just slightly favoring the show side, and carbon fiber really doesn't have any flex. I'm just checking. All right, let's see to make sure that these are seated. You know, I might have needed to loosen those screws on the Actually, that might have done it. Let me see. Smooth. Let me try these. I did tighten the other ones. I'm just going to back them out, back both out, and then tighten them back down. I don't know if these kind of pull the liners into the scale and affect that any. Oh, that might have done it. I think it's dead center now. That might have been what the problem was. These are pulling on the scales, and that could affect how it's sitting. Let's see. Nice action. Centered. No play. Yeah, that is it. So I am going to let that sit overnight and settle and cure just to make sure the paste is a little bit more forgiving. You can play with it a little bit, and it's not going to really make an issue whatsoever. My first video with the Audacious Concept bit driver, I really like it. I'm going to leave it out. I'm going to put my Griffin tool one away for a little while, and I'm going to use the Audacious for a bit here so I can just give good feedback with each disassembly video and let you guys know what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling about it. But I really like it. It's very well made, good construction. The frag pattern on it makes it really grippy, so you can really, easily grip onto it and feel confident for anything that you're taking apart that's brand new, that's very tight in the pivot. And I need to order some more 5mm 1/16 bearings for my collection. But any questions about this that I didn't answer for you today? I really love this this pocket knife. It's a great size, good summer carry. It fits in well with my Para 3 and my bug out. And my Sage 5, those are some that I really like for summer carry that are lightweight, nice thin profile, but still good ergonomics in hand, so that when you're using it, you're confident, right? You're not worried about slipping off of it or anything like that, especially in the summertime, sweaty hands, things like that you got to worry about. But this is really good, straightforward. I hope it helped you. Shout out to everyone out there that leaves the comments, that is liking the videos and is subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the support and the love. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.